Native American mass extermination. Where does it take place? It started in 1492 and lasted until early 1900s. Who was it done by? The perpetrators were mainly English colonists at the start, and that then evolved into being Americans. It was jump-started again under Andrew Jackson from 1831 to 1850 during the Trail of Tears. Why did it happen? One of the main reasons that it happened was the immense amount of European diseases the colonists brought with them. Since they had lived in Europe, they had become immune to diseases that were only there in Europe. These include smallpox, measles, typhus, and cholera. There was also a purposeful extermination of Native Americans. The main reason was that they did this was that their false belief that British culture was the best culture, and since the natives refused to conform and assimilate, they deserved to die. How did the perpetrators torture their victims? They were displaced and forcibly removed from where they had been living for centuries, as well as dying from disease. They were also enslaved and raped. In 1491, about 145 million people lived in the Western Hemisphere that were Native American. By just 1691, almost 100 years before even the United States of America was established, the Native American population had declined by 90 to 95%, or by around 130 million people. What was the result of this tragedy? The centuries of Native American lynchings, mass killings, rapes, etc. have created a long-standing hatred of Americans and the Native Americans. To this day, there is still discrimination and hate towards Native Americans who live among everyone else, forced to assimilate into a culture that isn't theirs, and the Native Americans who were not forced to assimilate were forced onto reservations that were mere fractions of their original land area. Currently, only 2.3% of the United States landmass is occupied by Native American reservations. Does your atrocity still have repercussions that are seen today? The main repercussions from the atrocities committed against Native Americans today stem from the Trail of Tears. As previously stated, there is still a long-standing disliking for the colonists by Native Americans, and there is still prejudice towards them as well. Currently, they are only a mere fraction of the population in national politics. Only 1.1% of the legislative senators and 2% of the executive branch senators have even slight ties to Native American heritage.